My eyes snap open, not in that groggy, slow burn way of a typical morning. No, this is a jolt, like being zapped back to life. And in a way, I guess I have been. The room is painfully familiar. The pale lavender walls I begged Mom to paint when I was 12. The faded band posters thumbtacked above the desk. The worn copy of Wuthering Heights on my nightstand. It's my childhood bedroom. My 17-year-old bedroom. Before I can fully process the impossible reality of it, the door bursts open. No knock, no warning, just like always. Melody. Hey, Seiji. Hope you don't mind. I'm borrowing Phoenix Rising for my audition today. It's just so me, you know? She's already at my desk, her fingers adorned with chipped neon pink polish, flipping through my worn songbook with an air of entitled confidence that makes my stomach clench. This. This is it. The exact moment. The same words, the same casual theft that set my whole previous life on a collision course with death. But this time, something's different. I remember every single agonizing detail. I watch her, a cold clarity washing over me, a stark contrast to the bewildered hurt I felt the first time. She doesn't just look like my sister, she looks like my killer. A torrent of memories, sharp and brutal, floods through me. The original timeline plays out behind my eyes like a horror film I can't shut off. Melody stealing not just Phoenix Rising, but my entire portfolio, every song I'd ever poured my heart into. Her voice, not mine, filling the radio waves. Her face, plastered on magazine covers, accepting awards that should have borne my name. The record label, my dream label, signing her, and then the accident, that's what they called it. The night before I was finally going to expose her, my car mysteriously veering off that rain-slicked canyon road. I remember the terrifying screech of tires, the sickening crunch of metal, and then nothing. All the while, our parents. Oh, our parents. Beaming with pride, praising Melody, their talented one, their golden child. Even after I was gone, I'm sure they spun a tale of tragic inspiration for Melody's next chart topper. I force the scream down, swallow the bile rising in my throat. I have to play this right. I let my face crumple, mimic the devastation I felt so keenly before. The tears come easily. They're not entirely fake, just rerouted. Tears for the life I lost, for the betrayal that cut so deep it apparently transcended death itself. Melody, no, please. That song, it means everything to me. I manage, my voice cracking convincingly. She barely glances at me, just scoffs. Oh, don't be so dramatic, Sage. It's just a song. And besides, it's not like you were going to do anything with it. You're too quiet. She waves a dismissive hand, a gesture I now recognize as her signature move when belittling me. I catalog it, the flick of her wrist, the curl of her lip. Every cruel word, every condescending look. They're not just insults anymore. They're data, ammunition. My mind is racing, a whirlwind of calculations and strategies overlaying the fresh wave of pain. I see the little things I missed before. The slight tremor in her hand as she clutches my songbook. A flicker of something, guilt? No, more like fear of being caught in her eyes before she plasters on that confident smirk. Her arrogance, her belief in her own superiority, that's her weakness. And this time, I'll use it. The front door slams downstairs, Mom and Dad, perfect timing. Melody's already spinning her narrative as they walk into the living room, my songbook clutched to her chest like a prize. Mom, Dad, Sage is being so weird about me borrowing one of her songs for the showcase. I told her it's a compliment. I follow them out, tears still streaming. It's my song, Mom. I wrote it for my audition. Mom sighs, that familiar, weary sound that always precedes her siding with Melody. Sage, honey, don't be dramatic about sharing. Melody has a real shot at this. You should be grateful your sister wants to perform one of your little songs. It's good exposure for her. Grateful. The word is a punch to the gut, just like before. I bite the inside of my cheek so hard I taste blood. This, too, I file away. Their blatant favoritism. Their casual dismissal of my dreams. It's all part of the pattern, the one that led to my erasure. Dad just ruffles Melody's hair. That's my girl, go get him, superstar. I mumble a defeated, okay, and slink back to my room, the picture of a crushed teenager. They buy it. Of course they do. I've always been the quiet, compliant one, the doormat. Alone, the mask drops. The tears dry, replaced by a cold, hard resolve. I reach under my mattress, my fingers brushing against loose floorboards I'd forgotten about. But this time, I know what I'm looking for. Not the tear-stained diary of a heartbroken girl, but something far more valuable. From the recesses of my resurrected memories, I pull out the image of a different notebook. One I started too late in my previous life, filled with business strategies, names of industry contacts I'd only learned about through the grapevine of Melody's stolen success, notes on copyright law, loopholes, and the predatory practices of the music world. I grab a fresh notebook from my desk, a cheap, spiral-bound one, unassuming, and I begin to write. Not songs, not yet. My real plan. The ink flows, mirroring the icy purpose in my veins. This time, Melody, I whisper to the empty room, the words a vow, a promise to the ghost of my former self. This time, you'll learn the difference between borrowing and burying. The game isn't over, it's just been reset. And this time, I know all the cheat codes. The next few weeks, I become Melody's shadow, a masterclass in feigned subservience. I'm at every rehearsal for the showcase, offering water, fetching forgotten lyric sheets, nodding enthusiastically as she massacres my melodies with her pop star affectations. That sounds amazing, Mel, I gush, while my inner voice meticulously notes her vocal weaknesses, her tendency to go flat on the high notes when she's trying too hard to sound emotional. She started having these social media planning sessions with her equally vacuous friends, Tiffany and Brittany. They lounge on her bed, scrolling through influencer feeds, plotting her rise to manufactured stardom. Okay, so after I slay with Phoenix Rising, my song, obviously I need a killer Instagram caption, Melody declares. Something about like overcoming adversity? Tiffany suggests, snapping a selfie. Totally, Melody agrees. Even though, like, what adversity have I actually overcome? She laughs and they all join in. I sit in the corner, supposedly doing homework, my phone discreetly recording every word. Melody's casual dismissal of my work is a constant refrain. Oh, Sage just scribbles in her notebooks. It's cute, but she doesn't have the drive, she tells them. And I press save with a grim satisfaction. This isn't just about reclaiming my songs anymore, it's about dismantling the myth of Melody, the effortlessly talented prodigy. My past life's knowledge is a roadmap to opportunities I never knew existed. I remember reading an obscure interview with Marcus Chen, a highly respected A&R scout for an indie label known for fostering genuine talent, not manufactured pop. He'd mentioned his ritual of grabbing a specific coffee at The Grind on Tuesdays at 10 a.m. before his office hours. The Grind is just a few blocks from our school, so the following Tuesday, I'm there, guitar case in hand, feigning a study session. I accidentally leave my songbook open to a newer piece, something raw and bluesy, completely different from Phoenix Rising. When Chen settles into his usual corner booth, I take a deep breath and start to play. Softly at first, then letting the music build. It's a song about feeling invisible, about a voice desperate to be heard. I pour every ounce of my remembered pain, my present determination into it. I don't look at him, just focus on the music, appearing completely lost in my own world. Out of the corner of my eye, I see him pause, his coffee cup halfway to his lips. He listens, really listens. When I finish, there's a beat of silence before the usual coffee shop chatter resumes. I don't approach him. That's not the plan. The plan is to plant a seed, to let him discover me, untainted by Melody's shadow. As I pack up, I make fleeting eye contact, offer a small, shy smile if he's looking, then leave. Let him wonder. It's a much better introduction than Melody will ever manage. Melody's showcase preparation is a masterclass in arrogance. She practices Phoenix Rising sporadically, convinced she nailed it the first time she sang it in her bedroom. Her vocal coach, a sycophant hired by our parents, showers her with praise for every strained note. I watch, biting back a smirk. This time, her overconfidence is my ally. You know, Mel, I say one afternoon, feigning helpfulness, that bridge, maybe if you simplified the run a little, make it more accessible. Like something everyone can sing along to? I suggest a blander, more generic melody line, something that strips away the unique edge I'd originally written. She considers it, then nods. Yeah, you're probably right. Keep it simple. Good thinking, Seiji. She thinks I'm helping her appeal to the masses. I'm actually helping her become utterly forgettable. Dinner times are a tightrope walk. Tonight, Melody is glowing, puffed up with self importance. I've been feeling so inspired lately, she announces, beaming at mom and dad. I think Phoenix Rising has really opened up my creative channels. I might need to collaborate with Sage more often. You're pretty good with the basic ideas, Sage. Mom claps her hands. Oh, Melody, that's wonderful. See, Sage, you two can be a team. I force a sweet smile. Of course, Mel. Anything to help. Inside, my stomach churns. Collaborate. The word tastes like poison. It's confirmation. She's not just taking one song. She plans to bleed me dry, just like before. Every idea, every melody, every lyric will be fed into the melody machine, but the melody machine is about to experience some serious technical difficulties. While I play the part of the supportive, unambitious sister, my nights are a flurry of clandestine activity. Using a VPN and encrypted email, I create a series of fake social media profiles. Echo, Nyx, Raven. These are my alter egos, scouting the underbelly of the city's music scene. I remember names of small, independent venues from my past life, places that valued originality over polish. I send out feelers, links to rough demos of songs Melody has never heard, songs I'm careful to keep hidden from her prying eyes. Just looking for open mic spots. My emails read, new artist in town, raw sound. Responses start trickling in. A smoky blues bar downtown. A grungy rock club in the warehouse district. A folk music den tucked away in a quiet neighborhood. My shadow network is growing. While Melody dreams of stadium lights and screaming fans, I'm building an army in the dark. One quiet contact, one secret performance at a time. My facade of the family's supportive, talentless daughter is my shield, and behind it, the real Sage is sharpening her claws. The night of the showcase arrives, a sick sense of déjà vu washing over me. The auditorium buzzes with local industry types, hopeful parents, and starry-eyed teenagers. I watch from the wings as Melody takes the stage, bathed in a spotlight that feels like a personal affront. She's wearing a sequin dress that's too tight, her smile a little too bright, a little too practiced. And then she sings it, my song, Phoenix Rising. She introduces it with a flourish. This next song is really personal to me. It's about finding your own strength even when things are totally falling apart. I wrote it during a really tough time. A wave of nausea hits me. The audacity. The sheer, unadulterated gall. I see Mom and Dad in the front row, their faces shining with pride, tears welling in Mom's eyes. They're buying every word, every stolen note. They probably think I'm the one who should be proud of Melody for interpreting my little tune so beautifully. The performance itself is adequate. Melody hits most of the notes, though the soul of the song is gone, replaced by a veneer of pop sensibility. The crowd applauds politely. A few industry scouts scribble notes. It's not the showstopper she thinks it is, but it's enough. Enough to get noticed, enough to start the cycle all over again. Or so she thinks. Backstage, I approach her, forcing tears of pride into my own eyes. Melody, that was incredible. You were amazing. I hug her, a gesture that feels like embracing a viper. She preens. Thanks, Seiji. I knew it was a good song, my good song. You're going to get so much attention from this, I say, my voice full of faux awe. All those record label people, the social media buzz, it's going to be crazy. If you need any help, like organizing contacts or responding to DMs, I can totally do that. I'm good at that stuff. I offer myself up as her assistant, her glorified secretary, the grateful, supportive sister, just happy to be in the orbit of her rising star. She waves a dismissive hand, but there's a glint of calculation in her eyes. Yeah, maybe. We'll see. She's already imagining herself too important for such menial tasks. Perfect. What Melody doesn't know, what no one in this room knows, is that the game changed months ago. My late night research in my previous life wasn't entirely fruitless. I'd learned about copyright law, the nitty gritty details I'd ignored until it was too late. This time, I was prepared. Weeks before Melody even thought of borrowing my song, I'd taken action. Using the meager savings I'd scraped together from birthdays and babysitting, plus some cash I'd already started earning from those secret open mic nights under my various pseudonyms, I'd formed a shell corporation, Phoenix Rising Music LLC. It sounded official, imposing. Through this LLC, I'd registered the copyright for Phoenix Rising and 12 other key songs from my portfolio, the ones Melody had pillaged most ruthlessly in our past life. I had digital recordings, time-stamped dated, lyric sheets meticulously documented, all predating this showcase by a significant margin. The originals locked away safely. 3 days after the showcase, just as Melody is starting to field calls from interested local labels and her Instagram follower count is experiencing a modest bump, the first shoe drops. A crisp, official-looking envelope arrives, addressed to Miss Melody Carmichael. It's a cease and desist letter from the legal team of Phoenix Rising Music LLC, a small but surprisingly aggressive firm I found specializing in intellectual property for independent artists. The letter is polite but firm. Melody Carmichael has performed and claimed authorship of a copyrighted work, Phoenix Rising, and is hereby ordered to cease all further use and public claims to the song. Her shriek echoes through the house. I rush to her room, feigning concern. Melody, what's wrong? She's clutching the letter, her face pale with a mixture of rage and disbelief. Some company is saying I stole Phoenix Rising? They're saying it's theirs. Can you believe this? I read the letter over her shoulder, my face a mask of sympathetic confusion. Oh my gosh, Mel, that's horrible. Who would do that? Maybe it's a mistake? Before she can even process that, the phone rings. It's the showcase venue manager. They've also received a notice from Phoenix Rising Music LLC, along with supporting documentation. They're apologetic but firm. They can't be associated with copyright infringement. Melody's performance video will be taken down from their website, and they'll have to inform the interested scouts that the song was, in fact, not her original composition. The whispers of a potential development deal die before they even truly begin. The fallout is swift and brutal. Melody is forced to issue a humiliating public apology on her fledgling social media, a vague statement about unintentional inspiration and misunderstandings. Her new followers, sensing drama and inauthenticity, begin to drift away. The local music blogs, which had initially shown some interest, now print retractions tinged with a hint of schadenfreude. Melody is a wreck. She spends hours sobbing in her room, a whirlwind of fury and confusion. How could this happen? Who is Phoenix Rising Music? It has to be a mistake. Or someone is trying to sabotage me. I'm right there by her side, offering tissues and soothing words. Oh, Mel, this is just awful. Maybe it's one of those internet trolls or a jealous competitor. You should be more careful about where you draw your inspiration from, you know? Sometimes ideas can get mixed up. I pat her hand, my expression one of pure, innocent sympathy. Inside, I'm savoring every single moment. Her panic is a sweet melody. Her confusion, a delicious harmony. She's scrambling, desperate to understand how her perfect, victimless crime could have unraveled so spectacularly. She has no idea who or what she's up against. She thinks it's an external enemy. She doesn't yet realize the call is coming from inside the house, and I, her quiet, unassuming sister, am holding the phone. The first taste of retribution is always the sweetest, especially when served cold with a side of feigned innocence. Melody doesn't stay a sobbing wreck for long. Suspicion, sharp and venomous, quickly replaces her tears. Her eyes, usually so self-assured, now narrow whenever she looks at me. She starts casually asking questions about my songwriting, if I've shown my little tunes to anyone. I play dumb, of course, all wide-eyed innocence, and hurt that she could possibly think I'd do anything to undermine her. Then comes the room tossing. I walk in one afternoon to find my usually messy desk unnervingly tidy. My notebooks rifled through, my guitar case open. She's not even trying to be subtle, but I anticipated this. Weeks ago, I'd planted my decoy, a new diary, hidden rather obviously under my pillow. The entries are carefully crafted, full of angsty teenage ramblings about feeling overshadowed, about wishing I had Melody's confidence, even a few tear-stained pages about how I sometimes wish I could disappear so Melody could shine brighter. There are also some vague, muddled lyrics about feeling like a caged bird. Nothing concrete, nothing that could be linked to Phoenix Rising Music LLC. She finds it, of course. I hear her triumphant little gasp from the hallway. Later, she confronts me, not with accusations, but with a sickly, sweet concern. Seiji, I was looking for a hair tie and I saw your diary. Are you okay? You know you can talk to me if you're feeling down. I feign embarrassment and burst into tears. You read my diary? How could you? It's the perfect distraction. She's so convinced she's found proof of my jealousy, my supposed motive for lashing out anonymously, that she misses the real game entirely. She thinks she's uncovered my petty revenge. She has no idea I'm orchestrating her professional downfall. Her next move is predictable. Desperate to reclaim some momentum and prove her talent, she tries to upload several of my newer songs, ones I've been working on in my room, humming melodies loud enough for her to overhear through the thin walls, to a couple of popular unsigned artist platforms. She uses her own name, of course, probably thinking she can beat whoever Phoenix Rising Music is to the punch this time. Big mistake. Those platforms have stricter copyright algorithms than the local showcase venue. The songs are flagged almost immediately because, naturally, Phoenix Rising Music LLC had already registered them, complete with those time-stamped digital demos. Melody's accounts get slapped with warnings for copyright violation. One platform suspends her account entirely. Her small but recently outraged fan base, the ones who stuck around after the first apology, see this fresh attempt at theft for what it is. The comment sections turn brutal. Thief! Get your own songs. Once a plagiarist, always a plagiarist. Melody is spiraling. Her confidence is shot. She snaps at everyone, paces her room like a caged animal, and glares at me with an impotent fury she can't quite voice. Because how can she accuse me of anything without revealing her own repeated attempts at theft? And just as she's hitting rock bottom, I deliver my next carefully orchestrated blow. I casually leave an acceptance letter on the kitchen counter. It's from a highly prestigious, invitation-only summer music program for young songwriters run by industry veterans. A program I remember reading about in my past life, one that Melody had sneered at as being for nerds who can't actually perform. Using the connections I'd started to cultivate through my anonymous online music presence, and with a portfolio of songs Melody has never laid eyes on, I'd secured a spot. Mom finds the letter first. Sage, what's this? The ASCAP Foundation Songwriters Workshop? Her voice is laced with a new note. Surprise, maybe even a flicker of respect. I walk in, feigning modesty. Oh, yeah, I applied a while ago. I didn't think I'd get in. It's probably just a lucky break. Melody, who has just stormed into the kitchen for more angst fuel, ice cream, straight from the carton, freezes. She stares at the letter, then at me. Her face, already pale, loses another shade of color. The carefully constructed facade of the effortlessly superior older sister is cracking, revealing the terrified, insecure core I always knew was there. She sees her younger sister, the quiet one, the untalented one, suddenly achieving something real, something legitimate, something completely outside of her control. That night, dinner is a morgue. Mom and Dad keep glancing between me and Melody, their usual easy chatter replaced by an awkward silence. They're starting to question their lifelong narrative. Their golden child is tarnished, flailing, while their afterthought is quietly succeeding. Melody can't take it. Halfway through Mom's hesitant attempt to congratulate me, she cracks. It's not fair, she screams, slamming her fork down. Everyone's always against me. No one supports me. Sage probably cheated to get in. She's always been sneaky. She glares at me, tears of rage and self-pity streaming down her face. I meet her gaze, my expression one of calm, wounded innocence. Melody, why would you say that? Because you're trying to ruin my life. Mom and Dad exchange horrified looks. This isn't their confident, charming Melody. This is someone ugly, someone unhinged. Later that night, I'm in my room, supposedly sleeping. But I'm not. I'm listening. My door is slightly ajar. I hear Melody's muffled voice from her bedroom. She's on the phone. Her words are low, urgent, but a few phrases drift clearly down the hall. Need to handle this. Getting out of control. Permanently solve the Sage problem. Just like we talked about for before. My blood runs cold, even though I expected this, just like before. She's not just jealous anymore. She's not just a thief. She's plotting. Again. The same desperation, the same murderous intent that led to my death in my first life. She's learned nothing, or rather, she's learned only that I'm a threat that needs to be eliminated. But this time, I'm not the unsuspecting victim. This time, I'm ready. I have the recording app on my phone already running, nestled under my pillow, capturing every damning word. Her predictable escalation is playing right into my hands. She thinks she's cornering me. She has no idea she's walking straight into my meticulously laid trap. The unraveling is almost complete, hers, not mine. The air in our living room is thick with an unspoken tension that's been brewing for weeks. Mom and Dad sit on the sofa, their faces etched with worry. Melody is perched on the edge of an armchair, radiating a nervous energy that's almost palpable. She's been jumpy ever since her disastrous phone call, constantly shooting me suspicious glances. She thinks I'm plotting something small, some petty teenage revenge. She has no idea. Kids, Dad starts, his voice heavy. We need to talk about what's been going on. Melody, this aggression towards Sage. And Sage, these sudden achievements. It's a lot. This is my cue. I take a deep breath, the calmest person in the room. Actually, Dad, Mom, Melody, there's something I need to tell you. Something I should have told you a while ago. I let the silence hang for a moment, enjoying the confused looks on their faces. Then, I drop the first bomb. For the past 6 months, I say, my voice even and steady, I've been running a music business. It's called S Phoenix Artist Management. I manage several other young artists, helping them with contracts, bookings, and developing their sound, and I've been quite successful. Stunned silence. Melody actually scoffs, a choked, disbelieving sound. Mom's hand flies to her mouth. A business? Dad stammers. Sage, you're 17. Yes, I say, and I'm financially independent. I reach into my backpack and pull out a neatly organized binder. I open it, revealing business registration documents, bank statements showing surprisingly healthy balances, and contracts with artists whose names they wouldn't recognize, but who are starting to make waves in the underground scene. I wanted to be sure I could stand on my own 2 feet before I told you. Melody's eyes are wide with a dawning horror. This is so far beyond anything she could have imagined. She thought she was competing with her mousy little sister for a local talent show. She had no idea I was operating on an entirely different playing field. Before they can fully absorb this, the doorbell rings. I smile faintly. Perfect timing. I open the door to reveal Marcus Chen, the A-ander scout from the grind. He's dressed impeccably, a warm smile on his face. Sage, good to see you. Are your parents here? We had an appointment. I usher him in, ignoring the gobsmacked expressions of my family. Mr. Chen, these are my parents and my sister, Melody. Marcus shakes their hands, his gaze lingering politely on Melody for a moment, before returning to me with genuine enthusiasm. Mr. and Mrs. Carmichael, I'm Marcus Chen from Resonant Records. I'm here today to formally offer Sage a recording contract. We've been following her work, both her own performances as S Phoenix and her incredible acumen in managing other artists, for several months now. Honestly, Sage, several industry veterans have been asking me about the mysterious teenage mogul who's been revolutionizing young artist contracts. Your reputation precedes you. Melody makes a small, strangled noise. S Phoenix. The name of the company that served her the cease and desist. The company that owned her song. It wasn't some faceless corporation. It was me. All along. I turned back to my stunned family. You see, I explained calmly, I'm not just a songwriter. After seeing how easily young artists can be taken advantage of, how their work can be Misappropriated. I shoot a cool glance at Melody. I decided to learn everything I could about the business. Copyright law, contract negotiation, artist development, marketing. I researched extensively. In another lifetime, I add silently. S Phoenix isn't just a stage name. It's a company designed to protect artists, to ensure they get a fair deal, to help them build sustainable careers. Melody's world isn't just cracking anymore, it's visibly crumbling. The color has drained from her face, leaving her looking sallow and small. She's staring at me as if seeing me for the first time. Not as her sister, not as her rival, but as some kind of alien creature whose motivations and abilities she can't even begin to comprehend. The petty thefts, the showcase sabotage, her desperate attempts to reclaim what she thought was hers, it all seems so pathetically insignificant now. She was playing checkers and I was playing three-dimensional chess in a game she didn't even know existed. But Phoenix Rising? Melody whispers, her voice barely audible. The company? That was you? Yes, Melody, I say, my voice gentle but firm. I wrote it, I own it, just like I wrote and own all the other songs you've tried to claim. Then, the final twist of the knife, delivered with surgical precision. And speaking of your attempts to claim my work, I say, turning to Marcus Chen, though my words are for my family, I've actually been documenting all of Melody's efforts. The initial theft of Phoenix Rising, her subsequent attempts to upload other copyrighted material, her more recent plans to ensure I wouldn't be a problem for her anymore. I tap my phone, which is still innocently resting on the coffee table. It's all been recorded. Audio, screenshots, even a log of her delightful late-night phone calls. I've already shared this portfolio of, let's call it familial sabotage, with a few trusted industry professionals. As a sort of cautionary tale, you understand, about toxic family dynamics and the importance of protecting one's intellectual property, even from those closest to you. The implication is clear. Melody isn't just exposed to her family. She's effectively blacklisted. No reputable label, no serious manager, no professional musician will touch her once the full story is out. And I've made sure it will be, if necessary. Melody makes a choking sound and sinks back into the armchair, her face a mask of utter devastation. She finally understands. She hasn't just been outplayed, she's been annihilated. And it was all by her own hand, orchestrated by the sister she'd always underestimated, the sister she'd tried to erase. The Phoenix, it turns out, didn't just rise. It learned how to build an empire from the ashes of betrayal. The silence in the room is heavy, suffocating. Melody is the first to break, her carefully constructed composure shattering into a million pieces. She stumbles from the armchair, falling to her knees in front of me, mascara-streaked tears carving paths down her pale cheeks. "Sage, please," she chokes out, grabbing at my hands. Her touch feels cold, reptilian. "Please, you have to fix this. I didn't mean it, any of it. I was just insecure, jealous. You were always so quiet. I didn't know." The words tumble out, a pathetic torrent of excuses and half-truths. "I've learned my lesson, I swear. Just make it go away. Tell them it was a misunderstanding. Give me another chance." Mom rushes forward, her face a mixture of horror and a desperate, ingrained need to smooth things over. "Sage, darling, listen to your sister. She's truly sorry. Can't we find a way to forgive and forget? Help her. Be the bigger person." Dad nods, his expression pleading. "She's your sister, Sage. Family is family." I look at them, these people who are supposed to be my parents, who enabled Melody's cruelty, who dismissed my pain, who are now begging me to sacrifice myself on the altar of family unity yet again. My heart, which I thought had hardened into a diamond, feels a faint, familiar twinge of pain. But it's quickly overshadowed by an icy resolve. I gently pull my hands away from Melody's grasp. "No," I say, my voice quiet but unshakable. "No?" Mom repeats, aghast. "No," I reiterate, "I won't fix this. And I won't give her another chance." I turn to Melody, my gaze direct. Because this exact scenario, this exact desperate plea, it's happened before. You said you were insecure then too. You said you'd learned your lesson. I pause, letting the weight of my next words sink in. And then you tried to kill me. The room goes utterly still. Marcus Chen, who has been watching this family drama unfold with a sort of horrified fascination, actually takes a step back. Sage, that's a terrible thing to say, Dad exclaims, his face flushing. Your sister would never, wouldn't she? I counter, my voice still calm. I pick up my phone. Melody, you remember your phone call a few nights ago? The one where you talked about permanently solving the Sage problem? The one where you mentioned it was just like we talked about for before? Melody's eyes widen in terror. She knows. I have the recording, I state simply. Would you like to hear it? Would you like to hear your daughter planning to harm me again, detailing how she intended to make it look like an accident again? I meet my parents' shocked gazes. Specific plans, Melody, timelines, methods, all eerily similar to the accident that took my life in my previous existence. Previous existence? Mom whispers, her hand fluttering to her chest. Sage, what are you talking about? You're not making sense. You're overwrought. Melody seizes on this, a desperate flicker of hope in her eyes. She's delusional, Mom. She's making it all up for attention. She's trying to destroy me because she's always been jealous. It's her last-ditch effort, the classic gaslighting maneuver, but I'm ready for it. Am I, Melody? I press a button on my phone, and Melody's voice, cold and calculating, fills the silent room. Her voice plotting my demise with a chilling detachment. The specific details, the casual cruelty, it's undeniable. My parents listen, their faces transforming from disbelief to dawning horror, then to a profound, soul-crushing shame. The evidence is irrefutable. Their golden child, their precious Melody, is not just a thief and a liar. She's capable of this. When the recording ends, the silence is heavier than before. Melody is sobbing openly now, not with manipulative tears, but with the raw, ragged gasps of someone utterly broken, utterly exposed. I look at my parents, my voice soft but laced with the strength of 2 lifetimes of pain. Forgiveness, I say, doesn't mean enabling abuse. It doesn't mean forgetting. And it certainly doesn't mean putting myself back in the path of someone who has proven repeatedly that they wish me harm. I will not sacrifice my safety, my success, or my sanity to maintain a family dynamic built on lies, favoritism, and your willful blindness. I take a deep breath. I'm choosing myself. For the first time in 2 lifetimes, I am choosing me. Dad buries his face in his hands. Mom is weeping silently, her gaze fixed on Melody with a look of utter disillusionment. The pedestals they built for her have crumbled to dust. The confrontation, the reckoning, doesn't end with shouting or dramatic pronouncements. It ends with a quiet, devastating finality. Marcus Chen, looking deeply uncomfortable but also strangely impressed, excuses himself, promising to be in touch about the contract details. My parents, finally seeing Melody for who she truly is, make the painful decision they should have made years ago. She's cut off, financially, professionally. They even discuss the legalities of preventing her from using the family name if she ever tries to crawl her way back into the music scene. I don't stay to watch the full aftermath. I gather my binder, my phone, my dignity. I walk out of that house, out of that suffocating dynamic, leaving behind the wreckage of their illusions. I don't look back. There's nothing there for me anymore. The family I was born into is a ruin. But the family I'm building, the chosen family of artists, collaborators, and friends who value honesty and talent, they're waiting for me. And for the first time, I feel truly, unequivocally free. The justice isn't in Melody's downfall, as satisfying as that might be on a petty level. The real justice is in my ascent, in becoming someone so strong, so self-possessed, that no one can ever victimize me again. 6 months, it feels like a lifetime, yet also the blink of an eye. I stand backstage, the familiar thrum of a festival crowd vibrating through the soles of my boots. This is it, the Starlight Music Festival, the very same festival where, in another life, Melody had her brief, stolen moment of glory with Phoenix Rising. Tonight, I'm the one headlining, under my own name, Sage Carmichael. No pseudonyms, no hiding. Just me. The stage manager gives me the 5-minute call. I take a deep breath, the scent of dust, sweat, and something that smells vaguely like cotton candy filling my lungs. It's intoxicating. When I walk out, the roar of the crowd is a physical wave. Thousands of faces, upturned, expectant. And when the opening chords of Phoenix Rising fill the night air, performed as it was always meant to be, raw, powerful, a little bit broken, but ultimately triumphant. A different kind of wave washes over me, pure, unadulterated joy. It's not just a song about rebirth from betrayal anymore. It's my anthem, my story. And as I sing, I see a few familiar faces in the industry section. Ander people, label execs, the ones who had briefly courted Melody. They're whispering, looking at me, then at their programs. The irony isn't lost on them. The universe, it seems, has a wicked sense of humor. Phoenix Artist Management is thriving. We've become a small but respected force in the industry, a haven for young talent. Our contracts are revolutionary, fair, transparent, artist first. We're known for spotting raw talent and nurturing it, not exploiting it. We're the good guys, and it turns out being the good guys is also good business. As for Melody, the whispers I hear are infrequent, tinged with pity or disdain. She's working a retail job at the mall, I heard. Occasionally, she posts bitter, rambling rants on obscure social media forums, blaming everyone but herself for her misfortunes. No one reads them, no one takes her seriously. She's become a ghost in her own life, a footnote in mine. Last week, I went back to my childhood home, one last time, to collect the few remaining sentimental items I'd left behind: old photos, a couple of cherished books, the fluffy teddy bear I'd had since I was 5. The house felt different, quieter, smaller. Mom and Dad were awkward. They're trying, in their own fumbling way, to rebuild some kind of relationship with me. They apologized profusely, endlessly. I listened. I accepted their apologies because holding onto that bitterness was like drinking poison and expecting them to die. But forgiveness doesn't always mean reconciliation. Some bridges, once burned, can't be fully rebuilt. And Melody's room, the one that used to be a shrine to her own ego, has been converted into a home office for Dad. A final, poignant symbol of how completely the family dynamic has shifted. There's a strange sort of peace in that. Later that night, back in my own apartment, a bright, airy space filled with music and laughter and the creative chaos of my chosen family. I sit down with my journal. It's not the tear-stained diary of a victim anymore. It's the chronicle of a survivor, a builder, a phoenix. It's funny, I write, the pen scratching softly in the quiet of the late hour. I started this journey thinking revenge would be the sweetest victory. And yes, there was a certain satisfaction in watching Melody's carefully constructed world crumble. But that's not what truly matters now. The real victory wasn't in her destruction, but in my reconstruction. In becoming someone who could never be victimized in that way again. The greatest justice wasn't in her punishment, but in my power. The power to protect myself and the power to protect others. A gentle knock on my door. It's Maya, the youngest artist I manage, a 17-year-old singer-songwriter with a voice like liquid gold and a talent that reminds me so much of me before. She's holding a small, awkwardly wrapped gift. "For you, Sage," she says, her eyes shining. I just wanted to say thank you for believing in me. When no one else would, you changed my life. Inside the wrapping paper is a small framed piece of handwritten sheet music. It's the first song she ever wrote after signing with Phoenix. A song about finding her voice. I smile, a genuine, unburdened smile that reaches deep into my soul. This is what it's all about. This is the legacy I want to build. I've become the person I needed in both my lives. Someone who doesn't tear others down to get ahead, but who uses her strength, her experience, her power to lift them up, to help them find their own wings, to help them rise. The festival stage, the cheering crowds, the record deals, they're wonderful. But this quiet moment, this heartfelt thank you from a young artist whose dreams I'm helping to make real, this is the true encore. This is the song that will play on long after the spotlights have faded.